The well has been dry recently, but as per the typical norm, alright, we've got a Beardo video that dropped and it is just resurfaced a bunch of drama between Paranormal and Debunker. And now it's come to a head. So, let me give you a little bit of context to kind of get you into the loop of what has been going on. Beardo dropped a video about 2 weeks ago, titled Two Ghost Girls, Fake or Misguided, alright? And it wasn't necessarily a quote-unquote typical debunk that we've got between, like from what you would typically expect to see. It was more of a, let's look into these guys, let's see what happens. Now, they did respond to the video, titled, and they responded like, only about 4 days ago, titled We React to Beardo Get Scared. It's a debunking video, right? And it was an over an hour video. They try and go through the entire video, break down the points, either agree or disagree, depending on whether they agreed or disagreed. But that's not where the drama kicks off, right? There's a little bit to do with it, but this was just the breeding ground of the drama. Alright, because a paranormal YouTuber who I'm not sure if they've had run-ins in the past, I can't quite remember. I think they may have had a bit of a run-in in the past, but nothing like this, right? Is Moxley's Paranormal World. Now, Moxley's Paranormal World is not a small YouTube channel by any stretch of the imagination. 77.9 thousand subscribers, 231 videos, all the rest of it, right? He makes urban exploring paranormal videos, the likes that we've come to know with regards to the paranormal. Anyway, he put a comment on the Two Ghost Girls video where he stated, if I'm being honest, Beardo's done this because yous come out with me, in my opinion. For some reason, he claims he hates me, but was very friendly in emails. Shrugging emoji. And he only thinks I'm fake because of an acorn falling down some stairs that wasn't paranormal and was never claimed to be paranormal. Oh, and the acorn he mentioned was apparently on the shelf that I caught in my video, on the shelf in question. What I'm trying to say is that something that wasn't paranormal on my video is portrayed as being fake just to be able to call me fake. Edit. He's even said, he said I've been caught multiple times. Go watch the side-eye guy on me where he says that it was pretty boring but didn't think it was fake. Just wanted to add that Beardo lies about me because of his friend group. Now, that was the catalyst. Alright, that was the catalyst to what comes next. But down in the comments, in reply to this, there was 19 replies to this. And some people were saying, agreeing with what Moxley had to say. The Ouija brothers were really mentioned a hell of a lot within this. Basically the insinuation, and it's just for the context of the thread of comments, the Ouija brothers and Beardo are in this comment here in particular, Beardo's referred to as the quote-unquote lapdog. It's not me saying it, it's just what other people have said. And other people have said that the Ouija brothers have ruined their credibility by essentially brown-nosing Beardo and all the rest of it. I don't know. That's just for context of the situation, alright? But someone called Karen says, I totally agree about the friend group. He seems to go after Ghost series for the same reason. I love your work, watch every week, clearly a fan. And then he responded, I'm all for the debunker community and people to question what is going on in the video. That is completely fine, but I have no problem with that. To call someone fake because of an acorn coming down the stairs is just ridiculous. I never even noticed an acorn on the shelf, but surprise, surprise, one of his friends just happens to go the day before me. It was on the shelf, and that's his evidence that though I showed it on the shelf, we heard a noise and looked behind us and saw something falling down the stairs. Presumed it was the walnut on the floor, but couldn't be 100% sure. It was one, it was dark and the camera was pointing the other way, and two, it happened so fast. Was it paranormal? No, not at all. It was just something falling, an abandoned building. I'm glad and enjoy my content. That means a lot. Anyway, continues to go on. Someone else replies to someone called Albie Eagle. At the very beginning of the video, the girls state that they asked Beardo to react to the video. He didn't initially react to the collab with you, so no, he didn't because of you. It's not because he doesn't like you. In my opinion, it's very good deception that 30 East Drive video first and then jump to the one with me. Why not just do the one in the video he normally does from the beginning to end? Come on, mate, that was so clear what he's doing. I knew the min I saw the video what and why he done it. And then other people have responded to it saying, do you know what he does? He's targeting you. Why would he bother? If he wanted to do that, I'm sure he would just go to your channel and have a look at your videos and call you out for investigating with useless phone apps and equipment. That proves absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, everyone has their own opinions. At least the ladies were incredibly respectful. Well done to them. Moxley responds, I'm not being disrespectful, I'm defending myself from being called fake when all I do is go out and explore, ghost hunt. Yes, I use phone apps. It's not like I'm going to a mental screaming demon. Let's just say first thing out of his mouth, fake, and that's all he wanted to do. I've said my piece. I can't be doing with the negativity, and I do apologise to the two ghost girls once again for commenting. This will be the last time. Moxley responds, and not looking to argue and basically disrespect. You have a large channel, all the rest of it. Moxley says that is very true. Moxley then responds to someone called Mimi Love, said, to be fair, I feel like you're glazing over the acorn thing. In your video, you scanned the shell for the acorn was shown, both you and the Morris's footage, and cuts there in the same spot, and then the acorn is thrown / comes down the stairs. The acorn just happens to be the same size and shape as the holes in the exact same place as the one on the shelf. Basically, in defense of Beardo to a degree. I respect your opinion. Morris stopped recording. I kept recording. I'm not arguing, just stating why would I fake an acorn and not even link it to paranormal? It makes zero sense. I'm trying to say I can't put on my kids' lives that none of this that none of us slung it. I can put it on my kids' lives that none of us slung it. It was just one of those things that happens to be in an abandoned property. Then no reply. But Super Mr. Death Lord, sorry, was put, sorry, but the amount of the chat is ridiculous. Is this the one? No, it's not the one. I think it's here. Sorry, so Belfast Crafty. I'm guessing you never saw the Beardo where Moxley put on a dead priest's clothing in a house and started playing around with them. If I remember rightly, they implied and made jokes about the priest and liking children, which there was no basis to at all. It was very disrespectful, and I think that's why Beardo and many others have zero time for him. Moxley responds, oh, you're on about the box full of robes, and we only done that what a lot of explorers done. Wasn't meant to be nasty way, it was called having a laugh. Thank God I never broke into a house where somebody recently passed away and record the remains. Obviously, this is why I'm bringing in the references of the Ouija brothers, because, you know, he's basically referencing the Ouija brothers there, and essentially his issue is that Beardo never called them out for it, even though everyone else did, and people saw it as double standards. You know, that's obviously long in the past. Anyway, would I have got a pass then? Obviously then referencing that Beardo never brought that up. Oh, the priest house with the imaginary cross outside that was edited by the trusted one. Wasn't a priest house multiple like a hostel, just stating facts. Alright, you could see how the conversation is going. I don't believe Moxley actually responded at all anymore. I don't think he's responded to anything else either in the chat from what I've seen. Obviously, it's just a bit of a messy situation. Beardo then obviously catches wind of this and decides that he's going to respond to it. So over on his Facebook page, he put up a post stating, oh, Mox, you've been a bit silly, or you're whining and lying to defend yourself over a throwaway comment, tisk tisk. But you called me a liar. I'm not. I'm a lot of things, but a liar is not one of them. So let's remind everyone of exactly who you are, Moxley, and a softly spoken liar, faker, and makes up stories for priests for views. I wish I'd seen some of your newer comments before I made this too, but there we go. I can always make a follow-up if you don't stop your whinging. Mox, you may want to get some aloe vera for this one. Then he drops The video entitled Moxley's Paranormal World is Lying, Fake Paranormal, Fake Excuses, and Even Faker Defenses. And this was dropped yesterday. And within the video, he states a lot of stuff. And he basically seems to get a lot off his chest. Let's just put it that way. So the first thing he talks about is a dispute with the two ghost girls. So he basically addresses a response video by the two ghost girls, criticizing the editing of a clip, which was the Emma and Emily clip that misrepresented their point about the ghost's origin. And they accuse two ghost girls of removing comments, including one from Lee from Three Spires, despite claiming they welcome all opinions. This leads to accusations of dishonesty and behavior of them acting like fakers. Now, I've got to say, YouTube is a very weird place. It's I don't know what happened. I'm not defending any actions, but I know from my personal experiences that people have accused me of deleting comments, even on like videos where I'm completely impartial and I have no reason at all to delete comments. And people are like, "Oh, you've deleted my comment." I'm like, "No, I haven't." Sometimes it's gone to the held for review. Sometimes, rightfully so, it's gone to the held for review and I leave it there because, it's just toxic as fuck. Or sometimes it's just like put there wrongfully, so I just, let it back out into the world, I suppose. Sometimes, no idea where the comments go. So people like claim that their comments get deleted. It makes me question if they've even left a comment sometimes, because it's just like I don't see the comment anywhere. I'm not saying that is the case, but I'm just saying that YouTube can be a bit weird like that sometimes. Anyway, another thing is that he has like a bit of a conflict with someone called David Jones. Now, apparently David Jones is a frequent commenter on Beardo's content, and is, gets basically criticized for contradictory behavior by supporting Beardo in their streams and comments, for example, but disparaging them on the two ghost girls comment section. And then Beardo does go on to mock David's comments, including personal insults and accusations of quote-unquote thirsting over two ghost girls, and threatens to ban him from live streams for his disloyalty. And then you've got criticism of Moxley. Now, this is where obviously the meat and potatoes comes in. So basically, Beardo calls out Moxley for allegedly faking paranormal activity, specifically obviously referencing the acorn falling down the stairs, claiming it was staged. And another incident involves Moxley and his friends disrespecting a deceased priest by implying inappropriate behavior and wearing his clothes for a video, which Moxley later apologized for and actually removed. Obviously, in the comments, Moxley claims that it was a joke. To me, that did read as gaslighting, being like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal, it was just a laugh. How are you going to state that this is wrong when, we were just having a giggle?" But, that's just gaslighting 101. Don't gaslight viewers. Moxley, if you ever watch this, I doubt you will. You probably don't fucking care. But, don't gaslight the viewers. If you've done wrong and you've apologised for it, at least hold your hands up afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, basically, Beardo then goes on to defend their own efforts, detailing investments in new equipment, travel, and location hires, refuting claims of laziness or a lack of effort. And he also goes on to highlight support for other paranormal channels like Ghost Squad, the Ouija Brothers, Ghost on Trent, in contrast with the criticism of Moxley and the others that they deem to be fake. So obviously that's to disparage comments that he's lazy, makes makes content that's just easy to put out, doesn't invest effort and time and all the rest of it. And I don't know, I don't think he really touched on the comments regarding the Ouija Brothers. I don't know, he probably never will, but that's by the by. Anyway, he also addresses accusations of others like Karen, who claim they unfairly criticise other channels or are influenced by groups like the Ouija Brothers. He did comment on that one. He also denies the claims, emphasising their independence and focus on the truth, and they note a general decline in the paranormal YouTube viewership, not just their own, to counter claims of personal failure. I do think that the paranormal side of YouTube's kind of taken a bit of a downgrade recently. Not a downgrade, but it's a bit of a slippery slope where, channels like Sam and Colby are always going to get big views. Twin Paranormal also have taken a bit of a hit from the looks of it with viewership. You know, these big, like, top fives channels, you know, they're not getting the viewership like they used to either. The Paranormal's just kind of, like, fallen off a cliff recently, and, like, it's just not that much interest in it. It was, you know, people had huge interest in it back in the day, like, back in, like, you know, 2020, like, around the early 2020s, during lockdown, especially in the 2010s. But recently, it's just no one seems to be that interested in it anymore. I think, you know, people have just moved on to other things. I don't know. Maybe there is still an interest, don't get me wrong, but it's not what it used to be, is the point. But obviously, this is just a video which was clearly a lot of frustration just bottled up into a video and just thrown out there. You know, there was a lot of heavy words used. There was a lot of, you know, insults thrown about. There was clear disdain, you know, towards Moxley, towards the commenters who had left these comments and stuff. Basically, it was just like Beardo listing off these videos. These comments on this video, just going through them one by one and just, like, trying to fight his corner with it. So, you know, I've seen a lot of these comments across the internet. A lot of people stand up for Beardo. A lot of people were fans of Beardo, but now aren't. A lot of people weren't fans of Beardo's and now are. Like, you know, it's a fickle fucking place right now. It's messy. But what do you guys think of this whole situation? After the video dropped, he did drop a post over on his Facebook. Mox, are you feeling that sting? That's pride fucking with you. Other people dropping stuff like this. You know, it's a wild old time. Wild old time. So yeah, the tea is well and truly brewed, some might say. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump together, hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.